LitFire presents Living in a Land Where No Apples Grow by Christel Bresko. Performed by Christel. It was a clear day, and the weather was close to -40 degrees in the morning. Bill dressed in all of his cold weather gear and packed for a day out in the cold. It was 7 miles to Old Tick, a lake way out in the tundra. His snow-go all ready, it started with one pull, and he was off. It was still dark, and he was going to be back by sunset around 2:30, 3 p.m. The weather started dropping. Ice fog was settling in all over the area. The wind was fierce, but did not disperse the fog. A cutting wind gave a chill right to the bone. I had to think about Bill because in the open country the trail could blow shut. I knew his first part was all through small stunted trees, but then came the open field and the lake. His trap line was close to the edge of the lake, but it was all frozen and drifted over with snow. For a shortcut, he ventured out to the middle of the lake and drove the snow-go into an overflow. He stood in a half-foot of water, and the snow-go stopped. He was all alone. I know the Lord was with him. It was dark, and already -50 below zero. It was almost 5 p.m. Thick ice fog was hovering over all of the cabins. I became very restless. I prayed, but I could not do anything. Children came to visit and wanted to know where Bill was. I told them to go home. Then Sharon T. came and wanted to know if she could be of help. I told her that Bill had not come home. Sharon knew what to do. She called on her husband, and Charlie T. drove his snow-go towards Old Tick. Sharon stayed with me until Charlie arrived with Bill, who was a frozen chum. Bill had started his 7-mile journey home. It was dark, but the full moon was shining through all that thick ice fog. He had to wade through a lot of overflow until he reached the dry tundra. Keep moving was his motto. Do not sit down and rest. Chuck along. Move, move, move. He had heard a snow-go in the distance, but it had not come his way. His feet were getting very heavy because the ice was dragging him down. He again heard a motor, and it was coming closer, and behold, what a sight! A rescue vehicle had come and found him. It was still a long time for me to wait, but what a lovely sound to hear the snow-go roaring into the yard. Bill was very stiff. I had a good fire going, and I needed to assist him out of his wet and frozen clothes. His boots were stuck to his legs. I put warm towels around him to get his boots separated from his feet. He was cold to the core. Hot tea, hugging, and keeping him warm did a lot of good. The weather had warmed up some to -30 degrees. A bunch of guys were going past the place where his snow-go was stuck on the lake. They were all on their way to Fort Yukon. One young man helped Bill with the snow-go and had it all turned around for him. Bill pampered the vehicle with starter fluid, new spark plugs, etc., and it started right up. This has been Living in a Land Where No Apples Grow by Christel Bresko, performed by Christel Lewis. Text copyright 2015 by Christel Bresko. Production copyright 2016 by LitFire. All rights reserved. Thank you for listening.